anti-bullying ambassadors lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, right? Okay, yes. Fire away, stand up. You guys are ready.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. That was way better than me doing that, so thank you. All right, we're going to start by I need a motion to approve the agenda. Moved. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. Next, we need a motion to approve the Board of Education meeting minutes for the November 21st, 2019 meeting.
Move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. All right, next, we don't have any patron comments, so we will move on to our superintendent and board comments. So we're going to start with our superintendent, Dr. Mark Miles.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So first announcement this evening, our newest member of the Board of Education, Mr. Tom Dunn, has been quite busy. Recently, Mr. Dunn completed the Essential Board Member Certification sponsored by the Missouri School Boards Association. The 18.5 hours of training combined online independent study with on-site interactive sessions, which was held in St. Louis in October. Topics of study included student achievement, effective school board operations, legal issues, school district policy, fundamentals of school finance, protecting students from sexual misconduct, and the role of the school board in establishing school district goals, among others.
He passed the first time?
He did. He received an A, it's my understanding. Mr. Dunn, we congratulate you for your commitment to our schools and to our community. And in honor of your work, we have a Certificate of Achievement from the Missouri School Boards Association and a lapel pin. There's red and blue in it, so it goes very well with Cardinals gear and Cubs gear.
Right, there you go.
Director Dunn. He's a Cubs fan.
Congratulations.
Really.
And secondly, our transportation team is ready for winter weather. On the day before Thanksgiving, the Rockwood transportation team activated the school bus engine block warmers for the season. When winter weather warrants, the block warmers keep Rockwood school bus engines at 140 degrees Fahrenheit to make sure they will start on cold winter mornings, which students probably means fewer snow days. What do you think about that? Sorry. So the engine block warmers afford Rockwood school buses protection to at least 40 degrees below zero. But the real concern is student safety, so that the buses will be warm when they make their rounds and pick up our children on those days where we have cold bus stops. I want to say thanks to our Director of Transportation, Mike Heyman, and his crew for keeping our students at the forefront of all they do. We'll do our best to work in some snow days as well. Rockwood Schools will be holding kindergarten registration events on Wednesday, January 15th and Thursday, January 16th to help our families prepare for the upcoming school year. You remember those days? Children who will be 5 years old by August 1st, 2020 are eligible to enroll in kindergarten this fall. Parents may enroll their students online starting January 15th or visit their school's registration event to enroll in person. Keep checking the district website, rsdmo.org, for more details on what times each elementary school will be offering its enrollment event. We are excited to welcome a new class of Rockwood kindergarten students in August, the class of 2033. It's unbelievable. The Rockwood Summit High School boys soccer team ended the fall sports season on a high note by claiming the Class 3 state championship on November 23rd. The Falcons did so in dramatic fashion with a Christian Kraus goal tying the match with less than 4 minutes to go. I think the time on the clock was 3 minutes 55 seconds to tie it up in regulation, and an Andrew Kogut strike winning it in overtime. The Summit boys finished their season undefeated and won their second title in program history and first since 2016. I was on hand as I got a little jostled in the mosh pit a little bit, but it was well worth it. It was so exciting to obtain a state championship. Congratulations to Coach Tom Wade and the entire Summit soccer community. Just thrilling. We'll count on another one next year as well. And with Thanksgiving in the rearview mirror and the holiday season upon us, it is a wonderful time to reflect upon all the things that we are thankful for. These Rockwood students are thankful for all things, big and small. Let's watch the video.
I'm thankful for the earth and all of its things that we have to learn. I'm thankful for my teacher because if you don't have a teacher, we won't learn anything. I'm thankful for a great school and a loving family to go home to.
I'm thankful for my cross-country team and a coach that supports me, and I'm also thankful for my pets at home.
Everything in my life that's positive. I'm thankful for today, just to be alive.
I'm thankful for my clothes because some people don't have clothes.
Hey, Max, hey, Fabi.
I am thankful for the Amazon rainforest because it has a lot of trees which is able to keep us oxygen and carbon dioxide. I'm thankful for the school because I get to learn.
My siblings because I probably wouldn't be the person I am today without them.
I'm thankful for my very loving friends and family.
I'm thankful for the opportunity to dance and run track.
My family and my education.
The trees.
I'm thankful for my librarians because if you don't have a librarian, then you won't be able to read stuff.
I'm thankful for Rockwood Summit and all the teachers here.
I'm thankful for my mom because she's always there for me and she do everything in her power she can for me.
I am thankful for the support and the resources that Rockwood provides me.
I'm thankful for the opportunity to study here at Rockwood Summit as an exchange student. Love it. I'm thankful for family, sports, and God.
I'm thankful for all my family and my friends for coming to this special dinner party that I'm throwing on Thanksgiving Day, and I'm so happy to see all my uncles, nieces, nephews, and grandparents come all the way from all over from Canada, from California to come visit me in St. Louis, Missouri.
Without a doubt, we have much to be thankful for. That's all I have this evening.
All right, any board comments?
No, but one I do have. In the last 4 or 5 board meetings, we've had the audience get up and tell us their name and identify themselves. I'd like to turn that around a little bit tonight because I think most of the audience are the parents of the students up here. I'd like for the students to get up in a loud voice and introduce themselves and then introduce their parents as they stand up. We'll start on the left end over there. Stand up, talk loud, and introduce yourself. Which one? He didn't stand. There he is. Very good.
Hi, my name is Sabi Witt, and right there is my mom, Kira Witt. She's awesome.
Thank you.
I'm Lorelai Holt, and there's my mother, Joy Beth Holt.
Good.
I'm Lily Smith, and that's my mom, Melissa Smith.
I'm Bennett Bockert, and that's my mom and dad, Carrie and Jason.
I'm Nico Grassi, and that's my mom and dad, Rebecca and Chris.
Great. Was there anybody we forgot to introduce themselves? Good to see one of my former students here tonight, too. Thanks, Carrie. What?
Both were. Jason was one too?
Oh, yeah, well, he was never in the office like you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Any other board comments? It's Randy Miller's birthday tonight. Happy birthday, Randy Miller. You guys want to sing happy birthday? All right, start. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Randy. Happy birthday to you.
See, our board meeting's fun. All right, moving along. We need a motion to approve the consent agenda items as submitted.
So move.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes, we have 3 great donations again tonight. Each meeting we have donations, and we recognize the donations because they're very important to the Rockwood School District. The first one is Rockwood Swim Club Parents Association donated $14,000 to help cover portion of the 50-meter pool repairs. Help cover portions of the 50-meter repairs. And is that the one at Crestview? Okay, it's the one at Crestview. Commerce Bank Shares Foundation, $1,500 for the Smoky Mountain Adventures, donations towards Smoky Mountains Adventure, and I'm not sure what grade that is. 6th grade? 5th. 5th grade, okay. And the Early Childhood PTO gave $2,500 for enrichment for preschool students through all 5 senses. You'll get an A if you can name the senses. Money donated for a sensory garden for our program, some literary initiatives, gross motor play development items, and pretend play items. Excellent donations. Thank them very much.
Else? All right, so the motion was to approve the consent agenda items as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. All right, next is the big event, what we all been waiting for, right? It's a co-presentation, Rockwood School District Anti-Bullying Ambassadors. So Terry Harris, are you somewhere? I have you on my list. Dr. Allison Klaus, you're here, and of course these fantastic students. So take it away.
Terry, can I go ahead and take it away? Awesome, thank you. Good evening. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Truly, on behalf of myself, Dr. Keelan, one of our assistant principals, Jen Fisher, 7th grade counselor, Miss Twyla Taylor, social worker, we are like crazy excited to be here in front of you guys today, and really humbled when Terry called us about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and said, we'd love to have your kids come and present to the board. We were like, yes. I don't even know what all of it's supposed to be about, but if you can showcase our kids at any point in time, we are just unbelievably proud of them. And so I'm not going to talk long, but what I do want to say before I turn things over to my friend Nico is this. At Wildwood Middle School, we really work on the culture within our school building. And in the years that I have been here, this is my 8th year, the types of things that we focus on in our school and every decision in which we make are around 3 or 4 different ideas or values. One is that relationships are everything. We are either in relationship with one another or we are out of relationship with one another. 2, kindness is the most important thing that we learn about being kind to one another. We also talk about at Wildwood Middle School about that empathy development. The greatest gift we think we can give to all of our students at Wildwood is the ability to empathize and to understand from someone else's perspective, someone else's walk. We really truly feel like that is the greatest gift we can give them. And probably another part of all of that is, and this is really for the adults in the room, parents, board members, teachers and administrators, counselors, is we can share our power as adults, that we don't have to keep and have all of the power, that the more opportunity we give for our students to empower them to make decisions, to lead in our school buildings, the greater our school is. Our schools are not designed for us as adults, they are designed for our kids. And I think you're going to hear those 4 messages kind of keep coming through everything that they share with you today. So without further ado, I'm going to turn things over to Mr. Nico.
Hi, my name is Nico, and I'm in the 8th grade, and I've been a part of Community Ambassadors who restore and empower, or CARE for short, since the 6th grade, and I would like to tell you a little bit about it. CARE is a way to strengthen bonds between students at our middle schools and elementary schools. We do this by using the restorative circles and implementing the anti-bullying RSD models. The acronym RSD means to recognize, stop, and describe the bullying situation at hand. Now Lorelei would like to talk to you about our current middle school issues and how an anti-bullying group could help. Thank you.
Good evening, my name is Lorelei Holt and I'm a 7th grader at WMS and I've been in CARE for 1 year. Middle school students can be mean, and they don't tend to always be the nicest to people around them, and they can always hurt people. I mean, I've personally had those problems. People in my school seem to really worry about how people notice them and realize them and those kinds of things. Having an anti-bullying group can help for several reasons. It can help to lead the students to pick people up and to make them help people instead of tear them down. It can also help our students to be welcoming and friendlier and nicer just to everyone they meet. It can also help the kids who have been picked on and bullied to feel better about who they are as a person when they aren't being picked on or bullied. Now I'm going to turn it over to Lily, who's going to talk to us tonight about why we came here.
Hi, my name is Lily. I'm an 8th grader and I've been a part of CARE since 6th grade. If we use the RSD model in schools, kids who feel lonely or bullied may have a chance to feel more included at their schools. Anti-bullying groups like CARE create a safer emotional environment for all students all the time. We wanted to come to you today because we find it important for schools to use the RSD model in their schools because it helps all the students who feel that way. I would now like to pass it over to Ben, who will tell you more about our work with elementary school students.
My name is Bennett Bockert. I'm in 7th grade and I've been with CARE. This is my first year. I like to think that middle school is kind of a baptism by fire of social life. It's just a bunch of kids going around and you make new friends and meet a bunch of new people, which can quickly turn into bullying, which CARE really strives to prevent, and we give the tools to 5th graders and 4th graders early on before they're in middle school so that they're prepared and ready to handle it, and that they feel empowered when they get to middle school. Now I'd like to turn it over to Maddie and Sabi, who were part of our 5th grade activities as 5th graders last year and would like to share their experience.
Hi, my name is Sabi Witt, and I'm a 6th grader at Wildwood Middle School. Last year, I went to Fairway Elementary School and was in 5th grade. So when CARE came to my school, they taught me that it's okay to tell adults or trust an adult, if you're being bullied. Because, before, it may have happened to lots of other kids too. It's been hard for me to talk to adults because they're not, I thought they were scary. So I learned from CARE that it's okay to tell people what you're going through and if you're getting bullied by someone, because they can help you and help you find new solutions and help you stop it. And thank you. Now to Maddie.
Hi, my name is Madeline. I'm a 6th grader at WMS. Last year I attended Green Pines Elementary. My experience with CARE was amazing. We learned about bullying and how to deal with it. I also learned that bullying is a very serious thing and that you should tell a trusted adult what is happening to you right away. Throughout the years of my life, I have, you guessed it, been bullied. The way I felt at that time is hard to even imagine. But I was and still am thankful that CARE showed me that it's not my fault nor the bullies, and that the bully may be mad at a friend maybe having a hard time at home, or could be mad at a friend or family member. In the end, CARE has helped me through so much, and I hope it will help you too. Quick shout out to Ms. Trainer for helping me with the speech. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'm Adam Keelan, assistant principal at Wildwood Middle School, and I work a lot with students who are the victims, and I'm first line when it comes to those types of things, and when doing school disciplines. And what I realized over the years is students know that bullying is bad. They know that it's wrong. They know that it's a negative decrease from our school culture. But there's a fear of speaking up about it, and there's a lack of knowledge of how to do it the right way. And so 2 years ago, when Dr. Harris and Ms. Whisker, they started this anti-bullying ambassadors training, and I went with Ms. Taylor. We took a group of kids and started to realize that these are the practical tools that our kids have been needing along the way, and this could be something that we can jump on board with and partner with our students to help them help themselves. And so it was important for us to then develop lessons to take them to the elementary schools, because we really firmly believe that we could start from the bottom up. If we could get to our feeder elementary schools, and we can help them and help them see that our students are going to come and spend time with them to be and have that powerful moment with them to help give them the courage and the tools, like, you know, my friend Madeline here would need, that when they get to middle school they can be change agents. And so we started from the bottom up, and so we started to see that trickling up and the powerful positive byproducts of that. And so we're really excited to be able to showcase tonight, but our work is not finished. It's only just beginning. We are just now in our second year, and we're going to one of our elementary schools tomorrow. We're going to Fairway, and we're going to take this show on the road to them. So I'm going to hand it over to Ms. Fisher, because Ms. Fisher has kind of taken it from there, and she's going to talk to you about what we're doing next.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jennifer Fisher. I'm one of the school counselors at Wildwood Middle. Like Dr. Hewlin mentioned, I have the honor and privilege of leading this great group of students, along with Miss Twyla Taylor, our social worker on the end there. And so I wanted to explain a little bit how we came to create CARE, because we don't call it anti-bullying ambassadors in our school, we call it CARE. And really that stemmed from kind of combining restorative practices with the anti-bullying ambassador model. And so Ms. Taylor and I, after we led our students through those district programs, came together. We brought all of our students together and we said, we want to create a program that's unique to Wildwood, that really encompasses our values and our beliefs as a school. And so our students created the name CARE on their own. And a lot of those students are actually at the high school now. We miss them dearly. So that's kind of how CARE came about at Wildwood. And so we have our own training every spring. Last April was our first training to kind of get new members involved, and we'll do the same thing this spring to recruit some of our lovely 6th graders and then a couple other 7th graders that want to join in. 2 things that we are looking forward to next semester as our group. Our CARE leaders are actually going to facilitate some discussion groups after we have a nationally renowned speaker. Keith Hawkins is coming to talk to our entire student body in February. So again, kind of speaking to what Dr. Klaus mentioned, we love student-led opportunities. So they're going to pair with our guidance team to facilitate some of those discussions as a follow-up to him coming to our school, which we're very excited about. Another thing that an idea they created was to create a video to push out to our entire student body, showing different types of bullying scenarios and how to use the RSD model. So we're going to be working on that too this spring, and we're very excited about both of those things. Once again, I'm very proud of these students. They do amazing work in our buildings, and it really goes back to that relationship piece with us. That means everything with our work with our students. So I'm actually going to hand it all over to Lorelai, who's going to take some questions from the board now.
Do you guys have any questions to ask us?
Yes. How successful do you think it has been? Now, you're giving us a lot of nice information tonight, but can you tell a difference in your school now that you have CARE?
I remember when I first went through the CARE training when I was a 5th grader. I first kind of thought that this is kind of dumb and that this is really going to do something. But when I went to school and was talking to some of the 8th graders, I was part of the musical, and so we were very close-knit with that. And so we used to talk about stuff like this. And they would always tell us that, like, we have it pretty good and that, like, the bullying has gone down a bunch. And they were the first class to do this. They were kind of like the groundbreakers, I guess you could say. So I'd say it works pretty well.
Good. Thank you, man. Anybody else? Some other ones?
I can say from an administrative perspective, I've had more students come in and speak with me in honest terms about things that are going on with other students, or stop me in the hallway because they know that, you know, the assistant principal is the one that kind of works with these types of situations. So I've been stopped more this year. I work directly with the 6th graders this year who were the 5th graders last year that we trained. And so this year, I've noticed even more so, just from an office perspective.
Could one of you describe what you'll do tomorrow at Fairway? What will an actual session look like?
Okay, so tomorrow we are going there and we're going to like go through a bunch of lessons and like what the acronym RSD means, and we're just gonna like lead them through what a bully's mind goes through also, some like for like one of the lessons. Yeah, that's a lot of it. There's like some scenes that we're gonna do, and I think Lorelai wants to tell you some more.
Basically, we're going to go talk to them, and we're going to try to put out some basics with a couple of details here and there about bullies and what they can do and why they do bully, and what you can do, who you can talk to, and we're going to be talking to all of them. And we have people speaking to them, and we have a few games that we're going to go through with them that represent rumors and things that can really hurt people that we want to go through with them.
Try and make it pretty interactive with the kids. Like, we do a certain thing where at the very end we'll take a piece of paper and we have to write down like a motto sort of thing for each small circle, and then basically the group leaders just sit back and let the kids do the talking and stuff, and they figure it out and figure something out that they want to do. I think Nico wants something.
Thank you. We have an 8th grader in the group here. Two. So how do you think this will influence your freshman year at your high schools? You talked about what happens in your feeder schools, but what do you think will happen when you get to high school? How will this program influence high school for you and for the others?
Well, for me, I know since like I've been part of CARE, I always have it like in the back of my mind, and I know even now, like if someone's like, I don't know, getting on my nerves or something, I always think about the RSD, or like just calming myself because I don't want to be the bully and I don't want to like start something like this. And I think that will carry out in high school for me, and I think when I tell my friends about it, it will hopefully carry out with them in high school too.
I feel like the drama is going to be worse in high school, which I think being a part of CARE is going to help. Like, we'll know like when to stop it, because like the bullying and like the rumors can always get to someone. So we'll like be able to help them too. And like if we're doing that, then other people might catch on, and that will start something good.
It's amazing that this program influences both your elementary schools and hopefully will influence the high schools as well. Good job, guys.
You go down tomorrow to Fairway. Are you meeting with the 5th graders only or the whole school?
We're going to be talking to the 5th graders and the 4th graders.
Are you hoping that they'll become CARE people and that they'll train 3rd, 2nd, 1st, and kindergarten?
Hopefully, yes, they will do that, and they will take that extra step from our training, but we can't really control what they do as a school.
In working with them last year, I know that Fairway, Green Pines, and Pond have all taken it and run with it in their buildings also. So they are taking they're identifying leaders within their own school at the upper grades of 5th and 4th graders, and then having them work with the younger grades.
Those are 3 elementary schools you draw from?
Green Pines, Fairway, and Pond.
Okay. But they don't go to the same high school. These kids don't necessarily go to the same. They either go to Eureka or Lafayette, is that right?
Yes.
That's correct.
Some go to Marquette too.
Some go to Marquette? Oh.
We go everywhere.
I believe you do. Do you go like a third of the year to Marquette and then go to Lafayette for a third of the year? And no.
I went to Pond, and I was really excited because I'd get to go back to the school, but when I asked Miss Fisher, I kept on pestering her because I was like, I want to go back, I want to go back. And she told me, like, no, they wanted their students to do this. Which, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I realize that that's kind of a good thing. Yeah.
They are taking that extra step and taking what we've taught them and going through and helping others.
Are there more kids at Wildwood on your CARE team?
Yes.
Yeah. How many are on your CARE team?
Probably around 18, 20. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when do you guys get together? How do you meet?
Usually every other Wednesday.
Like
academic lab.
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot more 8th graders too, so.
Yeah. And what kinds of things do you talk about when you meet?
Plans for future things we can do. We also, like, if there's a school coming up, we'll, like, practice that over and over to make sure we get everything correct.
You guys try to come up with new ideas for things a lot?
Last
Is the room
year-
full of a lot of ideas?
Yeah. Last year we didn't do the rumor game that we're going to do today, or tomorrow, so that's going to be really fun for them because it's going to be something new that they haven't done yet. Interested.
As a
Yeah.
parent of a Wildwood and Fairway Elementary School students, thank you for creating a positive environment. And what time is Fairway tomorrow?
9:30 to 10. 9:30, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You all ever have an opportunity to interact with the other middle school teams, anti-bullying groups? At the training,
Yeah,
right.
the training we did.
Right.
Mhm.
So at the training, at least you have that opportunity.
Do you all feel that the amount of bullying at school has decreased since the program started? Do you feel like people are more self-aware of what bullying actually looks like? And are more aware of what not to do, I guess, to start it?
I feel like, especially in my group, I can't say for like the whole school, but I remember in 7th grade, there was a lot of drama in my group, and there still is drama, but I think just me talking about it and me already knowing it, that I don't cause any or as much, at least, and there's just not as much going around, and yeah, I definitely think.
You're more self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My age group, I can really say that they don't really know that we have an anti-bullying group, but I feel like once we get this video out, we can kind of lift a voice and they will know about us, and we can hopefully get an influence in on them because there is a lot of stuff.
This is only like the beginning, and if it's already working as well as it is, it's only going to get better as the years go by.
Do you all feel that there are students that bully and they don't really know that they bully until you bring it to their attention?
Yes, that's,
yeah.
I was picked on and they didn't realize that I was feeling hurt until I talked to an adult and they brought the situation to attention to them.
Your administrators, do you feel like you've had less office referrals since this has come about?
I would say they're starting to decrease, yeah. I think I've had a lot more proactive conversations as opposed to reactive conversations, like the things already happened. I've had a lot more conversations on the front end to kind of work with kids to kind of work through those situations to prevent it from going to something where they're going to get consequences. Yeah, I would say yes.
We also, for the last 5 years at Wildwood Middle School, have been doing a lot of work around restorative practices, and our guidance counselors, social workers, and administrators are all trained in the 4 options model. So when students have, or a student and a staff member have conflict in some way, we give the opportunity for the students to resolve the conflict. There are some situations where there is discipline that goes with that, but we always give the option for restoring of the relationship, where you give the control back to students to determine how are we going to resolve this conflict, what are we going to commit to moving forward, and then as the adults, counselors, social workers, and administrators, we set up meetings to meet with those kids. Sometimes it starts daily, then it moves to weekly, then monthly. We communicate with our teachers about what they've committed to as they move forward. So there's a lot of behind the scenes kinds of things happening, as Dr. Keelan said, a lot of proactive measures.
You mentioned a little bit of drama from time to time. In the grown-up world, there's some drama from time to time as well. These are great life skills for you to recognize and deploy in life in general as well. To our parents, thank you for sending us these wonderful children each and every day. For our staff members, thank you for honoring the student voice. Dr. Harris, thank you for leading this endeavor. We appreciate you taking care of all of our children, so thank you. And to our students, thank you for always reminding us of each and every day of the power of positive human connection. Sometimes, I think in today's world of technology, we can get lost behind screens and we lack some of that human connection and that positive connection. So thank you for the work that you're doing today. Thank you for the work that you're doing tomorrow as well. We are so proud of you. Keep up the great work.
So, thank you very much for your presentation. I hope you all know the way that you just spoke to us. Some of us on this board are college teachers, and I can tell you that I have some students who do not speak nearly as well in public. I'm serious. The eye contact, how comfortable you are speaking in front of us, it's very, very impressive. So thank you very much.
Congratulations to their parents, too. And
Thank you.
teachers and staff.
Can I have everyone stand up and repeat after me the Timberwolf Pledge that we say every Monday? Oh, God. I have the right to participate fully in my school. To be treated with respect and feel welcome. Any words or actions intended to harm a member of our school family
Any words or actions intended to harm a member of our school family
is hurtful to us all and will not be tolerated.
is hurtful to us all and will not be tolerated.
Today, I pledge to make this a better week for everyone.
Today, I pledge to make this a better week for everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you again.
At WMS, we appreciate your continued support for all of our efforts. On behalf of the WMS students, please accept our token of appreciation. Thank you.
Cool.
Right.
Got your birthday present. Randy.
Nice.
Thanks,
Hey,
guys.
Ben,
Thank you, Nico.
you didn't even.
Thank you. Thanks.
I'll see if I can get him to get you.
I was supposed to open it.
Thank you.
Oh, cool. Very good.
That is awesome. Nicely done.
Those are really
Fantastic.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
That we use, I provide those for you, so lessons and everything that we use
great.
for our
Thanks so much.
program. So
Very good.
Great job.
Thank you. If you all have homework, you can go home. All right. Let's see if we can follow that up.
No way.
Summer
kidding.
Academy.
All right, so we need a motion. We need a motion, this is a long one. Motion to approve Rockwood Summer Academy report and financial analysis for 2020, including a 1% salary increase, support staff, and additional costs to cover one extra contract day for Summer Academy related to full-day training prior to the start of Summer Academy, and a salary plan to move nurses' rate to median of county average over a 2-year period.
Move.
Second.
A motion and a second. Dr. Counts, Dr. Willott, Dr. Cobb.
Evening.
Good evening.
So yes, we are here to present Summer Academy, to go over a little bit last year, and then give a quick update on projections for next summer. So won't read the entire slides with you. Obviously, for Summer Academy, we're going to go through this in a second. So typically, each summer, last summer, we have 4 elementary school sites, typically 2 middle school, 2 high school. It runs for 4 weeks. And then with...
You got to bang it, Dave.
I know, right? Last year, you can see here that we had, this is our cost revenue this is our cost for the 4-week program with salaries, benefits, supplies, and services. We had a total of about $571,000 in expenditures. Revenues, you can see revenues over expenditures. The revenue from the reimbursement was roughly about the 870, so you can see as a total, as a district, we were just under 300,000. Our attendance rate is pretty steady at the elementary school. At the high school, obviously, it's significantly higher because it's more credit recovery, but we're always typically looking for that 90% piece, and we do a lot of stuff in our summers to try to get kids to come every single day. In addition to regular summer school, we have community ed classes in almost all of our buildings. We have adventure clubs in 8 of the sites, 2 of the middle school sites, and we also have early childhood in 3 of our sites as well. So programming for the proposal for next summer, we'll continue with the 4-week period. We'll start June 1st, go through the 26th, get out just in time for students to enjoy that July break. Again, we'll have our sites, 4 elementary, 2 middle, and the proposal will be 2 high schools, but we'll talk more about that here in a little bit. The sites that we'll have this year, we have to rotate every year, and that rotation is based on a lot of things. A lot of it, we work with facilities, we work with many different individuals because we've got so much going on in such a large district that not every school is available, so we have to take turns. So we, in the Fenton area, will have bowls, and in the Eureka area, Eureka Elementary, and then we have to split in that middle area, Green Pines and Westridge. And a lot of that really is transportation. Because we provide transportation, it's a huge puzzle piece to make sure that students aren't on a bus for more than 30 minutes to get to site. So we really try to get centrally located so we can provide equal services to all students. And then we have our 2 middle schools at Crestview and Rockwood Summit, and 2 high schools. One will be Rockwood Summit as well, and you'll see that middle school is Rockwood Summit and the high school. We did that last year as well, as put those together, and then Lafayette's got an asterisk because I don't know that we're certain about that yet, but we'll talk more about that. Next slide, please. And here are some of the secondary changes because there's been some proposals about how we can do it more efficiently and better for secondary.
So we have an opportunity to provide some flexibility to our families in the delivery of our summer school curriculum. Right now, our teachers take the curriculum and choose whatever it is that they're going to teach. So this will also give us some consistency in what kids are getting from building to building. What this will allow us to do is offer students the option for credit recovery of taking those credit recovery online classes either in a building with adult supervision and facilitation or at home. So we would put lots of supports in place to make sure that those students are monitored. That would kind of change the role of the administrators and the teachers in terms of keeping up with students. That would be their role in making sure that they're making progress. We even talked about the possibility of home visits if that is needed to keep kids on track. Families would have 8 weeks to finish that credit recovery content. Our teachers would be hired by Springfield Launch for the launch program, and they would actually make more money than we pay them in summer school. So that's kind of nice too. So that's a benefit. Our teachers wouldn't have to come into the building. They would facilitate online with students. We would hold parent meetings to make sure that they're well aware of how to navigate, how to log in. We do that all with the students in the room to get them started and then monitor them throughout the summer. But if families feel like they want that day-to-day with their student and have a facilitator, someone to push them and monitor them and help them out, they have that option too. We'll open up spaces in buildings with a few certified teachers to support them along the way, as well as that online teacher.
So that's new this year. And how many students do you anticipate, like percentages participating in this?
Don't know.
A giant question mark. Sorry, Shelley. Yeah, we don't know. I mean, it's going to be open to any student, so that's why there's the asterisk by Lafayette. We're scheduled to host.
I see.
Those 3 quadrants at Lafayette. We switch between Lafayette and Marquette, and it's Lafayette's turn this year. So we just don't know. If we have more students who take advantage of credit recovery on a true online system and choose not to come on campus, they can do that because they will have an online teacher who's there providing them feedback, answering questions, grading and reporting. So they physically don't have to come for seat time. But we're going to have teacher facilitators on campus. We'll have our administrators on campus that if there are students that work better in a setting coming to school, still working on the online curriculum, but there would be the adults there to facilitate that. So we're anticipating going ahead and keeping Lafayette as our site this summer, but down the road that may change, that maybe if we see more kids not needing to be on campus daily, maybe we condense sites similar to what we do in Fenton, and maybe we would have Crestview be the hub for all.
Have we had this conversation? Did I tell you that my oldest son just texted me out of the blue one day and said, I feel like I got a good education in Rockwood, but I go to Mizzou, I'm at Mizzou, and now so many things are online. So did we have that conversation? Or did I? Maybe not. No.
At some point.
Yeah.
I think the benefit to this is that, first of all, it gives our families flexibility. So we have families that have to work their summer vacation around summer school. I feel like several local school districts are doing this already. So Fort Zumwalt is comparable to our size. They're doing it. Kirkwood does it as well with launch. And I feel like our partnership is solid there. I don't know that I would have said 2 years ago that this would have been the route to go, but I think we've built that relationship with them. We're assured of the quality that we're getting with our kids. And we've learned a lot about supervising kids. I think that's the biggest thing, is that we've learned what it takes to monitor and support a student online. You can't just let them go for 8 weeks and then say, they didn't finish the course, what happened?
Right.
So we've got a lot of those things in place, so I feel really confident about that. I think it's going to be a game changer for some of our families. That I would assume that we probably have kids that don't access summer school because they're in camps or whatever it is that they're doing all summer, vacation, those kinds of things. The districts that I've talked to that have already started this did set up a place for kids to meet the first year, and they had minimal kids show up at that spot, and then they just said they weren't going to do that anymore, but they had adults available on campus. So I just feel confident that we can support our kids.
Yeah, so I mean, I teach an online course, so that's, I would say just as much time as I spend grading, I spend reminding students, hey, you're going to hand this in, because I don't have that relationship with them like I do with kids I teach in class.
Yeah. So we learned a lot in those ramp up to math classes that we've done in middle school. The first year that we did that, we did not have a parent meeting. We just set it up and had the kids go. We've had a parent meeting after that, and it was highly successful because we had the computers in the room with the kids, logging them in. The teacher was showing them how to navigate. I had meetings with the parents and explained to them that they needed to sit on their hands and not touch the mouse and let the kids go. And it ended up being a really good thing.
I have a couple questions. One is the teachers who will be in the buildings, will they also be hired by Springfield Launch?
They would be hired by us.
So, okay.
So we'll still be hiring some staff.
And so it's credit recovery only? What happens, or is it
We
open
do
to
have
other
first-time
courses?
credit available. So
Okay.
we do have some seated courses for first-time credit that will need to remain seated. PE, art fundamentals, those need to be done in a building. So our students will have that opportunity in those buildings, but kids will have the opportunity to take that first-time credit online as well, which we had a lot of kids take advantage of last summer.
And those are the same classes that we've always offered as first-time
Yeah,
credit. We
that
don't
won't change.
offer a whole catalog as first-time credit in the summer.
Only the PE and the art class will be a regular class. The rest, if a kid wants an algebra 2 to get ahead, that would be an online.
Yes, but there's a couple of things that we need to be careful about, is that they have to meet all prerequisites before they get to that point, and it all has to go through the counselor before we do that. And there are some classes that we just wouldn't recommend doing that in a 4-week time period or 8-week time period. I've had a lot of questions about Algebra 1 in particular, because they want to get into that advanced track and take Algebra 1 over the summer, and my caveat is always, let's do geometry online. I'll even let you double up that, but let's get the algebra in a seated environment. So we work through that with parents when that happens.
You're offering, besides the credit recovery, other courses online?
Sure. Yeah, we did that last summer
Okay,
as well.
so that's not new? That's okay.
No, that won't change at all.
You're very good. I like this. You think we can get away from launch and do our own?
Well, we've talked about that. A lot of their things, we feel like the quality is really good, and we would do it about the same, so why would we spend our time and energy on that? And we've had a lot of conversation in the curriculum department that do we need to, and we're going to have to come to a crossroads of, do we keep developing our curriculum, or do we create some things that we don't offer that would give kids more opportunity online with different coursework? So we're still having those conversations along the way.
Are you considering the monetary value of us doing it versus launch?
Yeah, I mean, the monetary, it really wouldn't be that big of a difference monetarily unless we sold our coursework out there on MoCap, which we could do, but I don't know that I want to be in that business.
Okay. Thanks.
In addition to the secondary changes, the proposals for 2020 this summer will look pretty much identical. We'll continue to have community education in all of our buildings, most of our buildings, adventure club in many of the buildings as well, and also offer early childhood. The next slide just basically goes over the proposed estimated budget for next summer, and You'll see down there is a total of $614,000. That's about $40,000 to $45,000 more than last year. And the difference is at the bottom we have there, each year we're adding a 1% increase for certified staff and support staff, in addition to including a salary plan to move the nurses to a median range, because we've not done that in the past year. So, and we have a few more items for supplies and materials, because we want to make sure that we have the best things for kids and not have something that they come to summer school and just open up old stuff every year. So we're trying to continue to put really good stuff in their hands. So
The 1% increase, what's that, 25 cents?
well, no, I think it's a lot more than that. That 1% increase, I'm looking at.
Percent increase. What is that, 2 cents? 25 cents a day? Don't they get paid by the day?
The 1% increase?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can tell you the difference in salaries from last year, from last year to the proposal of this year is roughly about 22,000. So I guess all teachers included, that would be about what it would be.
For summer school.
For summer school.
For academy.
Mm-hmm.
Is there always like an asterisk somewhere here based on funding, government funding or something? Or, okay, whatever. Go ahead.
Well, the asterisk was based on if there's enough to have a site. Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. There was always some asterisk, right? For summer academy, it was always based on something.
What's the transportation?
You have a good memory. When we hire, it's on the board hire sheets. They're all
Thank you.
asterisk.
Everybody else is looking at me like I'm crazy, but thank you.
Yeah, and the
Katie
increase,
Revelay.
teachers aren't paid by the day, they're paid by a block of time. So
Gotcha.
it's built in, that's the way it's been for like the last 10 years. Summer Academy is a 1%
that's
increase
what I
each year.
meant.
So tell us about the day, you added a day of staff development prior to starting summer school?
Done that for the
Did
last
that-
couple of years.
yeah, last couple of
Mhm.
years.
You need to do that.
Yeah.
Continue to do that for the staff to get them ready.
It's been there, we've done it the
Yeah.
last couple of years.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were adding a day this year.
It's been there.
One of the questions about transportation, I don't know the total cost for transportation, but I know that when we implemented transportation, like especially at the elementary schools, we've got buses running in the morning and then in midday, because we have 2 blocks, A block and B block. We've had, it's really nice for those families and those parents that can't make it. I don't know the cost for that, but I can tell you that over the years our students that participate has increased. So.
Have the bus, you can see a correlation between the buses and attendance by having more students attending. I would think so too.
Right.
Online courses, do we get to count our students as being here?
Yeah.
Good. So we're not losing money on this, are we?
No.
To the money guy.
I trust you guys, but I trust him also.
Money guy's like, nope.
We ran it through him.
Is that it?
That's it. Any other questions?
Wish you best success on it. That's a great idea. I like this idea.
All right, are we good?
Sounds like a great summer.
That's a
It'll be here before
long
we know it.
motion. All right, anything else?
I'm always in for a good experiment.
Why not?
Everybody good on that?
Good.
Okay, so the motion is to approve Rockwood Summer Academy report and financial analysis for 2020, and I'm just going to include 1% salary increase, support staff, nurses. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. Thank you. All right, Shelley is staying. Megan Meyer is coming up. I need a motion to postpone approval of the K through 12 art courses curriculum as presented until the December 19th, 2019 board meeting.
I want to correct that, it's just K-8 art curriculum.
Okay.
Move.
Motion.
Okay. So we're excited to bring this curriculum forward today. We've taken it to Rockwood Learning Council. We actually had an art teacher from Chesterfield Elementary do a little activity with Rockwood Learning Council to let them see what the curriculum is like. I think you'll notice some changes from when you went to art in elementary school. We're really trying to tap into students' creativity and not have them copy exactly what the teacher's doing. They're learning that creative process, which is really fun, and a lot of choice in what students are doing in the classroom. So I'm going to turn it over to Megan and take it away.
Right. And so, so this year we're working on the kindergarten through 8th grade art. curriculum, and then next summer we'll rewrite the high school art curriculum, so it will be implemented the next year. I do want to start by acknowledging we had a really great group of art teachers that helped in writing this curriculum. Our process started really just over a year ago with a program evaluation. We had 2 art education professors from Mizzou come and work with us, Dr. Kathy Enrath and Dr. Amy Roop, and really took us through a process of thinking deeply about the purpose of art, the purpose of art education. And these teachers that I have on this slide also gave about 7 days this summer of their time to come in and write the curriculum. And so we're very appreciative of them. So some of you may recognize that we have new national art standards in 2014. So many of our fine arts courses have already transitioned over to those new standards. The state of Missouri didn't officially adopt them until just last April, so that now the national standards are also our Missouri grade level expectations as well. And they are all focused around 4 artistic processes that are common to all of the arts, and those are creating, presenting, responding, and connecting. So in each of our courses, you will see a standard that's related to each process component. And you'll see 4 units of understanding in each of the courses. You also see referenced in the curriculum documents the Studio Habits of Mind. This is work that came out of Harvard's Project Zero. Lois Hetland was a researcher, and her goal was to identify the true benefits of a visual arts education, and did a lot of observing in art classrooms and identified these 8 habits that are just naturally developed in an art classroom that transfer over to other areas and that students can utilize in other curriculum areas and in their future, regardless of whether they pursue a career in art or not. And so you'll see reference throughout the documents how each of the process components, the habits that students are developing through those also. So in addition to new curriculum standards, we've been working on a lot of instructional shifts. And like I said, these national standards came out in 2014. So many of these shifts, I hope that you've seen in some of our art classrooms in the last 4 years. And this is kind of the final, we're making it official. And we hope that in the next year, you'll see this in all of our K-8 art classrooms, that we're moving from more teacher-directed to student-directed. We used to have the primary focus being on that piece of artwork. What does it look like in the end? And now we're really trying to bring focus to the entire process. How does a student respond when something doesn't work out, when they have a failure in their process? Can they adjust what they were doing? Can they work through something that's challenging? We want to expand student choice. So as Dr. Willett said, and we may have memories of being in art class and being told to follow the teacher's directions step by step to create a project. And now the process is more focused on student interest and student choice and how to take a theme that the teacher may present or a certain media that the teacher presents and then incorporate their own ideas and their own creativity. And again, the final shift, moving from the development of skills, we're still developing skills, but our priority is on students thinking, coming up with their own ideas, and learning how to communicate through their artwork, that art becomes a literacy for them. So this is a continuum of choice. I should say we've done several book studies with all of our art teachers in the last few years also, and engaging learners through art making is one of them. And when we talk about a continuum of choice, we want to make sure to say that there still is a place at times for a teacher-directed lesson where there might be a very specific skill that the teacher is going for, or a specific project. So you may see that from time to time, but the majority of our time in our art classes, we're really moving to more of that learner-directed, theme-based approach where the students and the teacher are working together around a theme or an idea, and incorporating both the students' ideas in that process. In terms of assessment, again, thinking to a different format for art education. The the grade would be based on what did the art look like in the end. And we're expanding out that we want to look at 3 different areas of proficiency when we're giving our students feedback and helping them grow in their process, that we want to talk to them about planning, the ideas that they come up with, the different iterations of trying out different things and deciding which they like the best or which is most effective. And creating not just what does it look like in the end, but trying new skills and reflecting on what worked and what didn't work. And finally, like I said, that piece of reflecting, you'll see when you're in schools, I hope that you'll see more of like an artist statement displayed alongside the artwork, where you can see what was the student hoping to convey through their art, and really helping them also to take the time to reflect on what went well and what didn't go well in their process, so that they can apply that for future projects. We have a short video here, and some of you have seen this before because it was actually a COPE presentation a couple of years ago, but just a short video to give you an idea of what some of these instructional shifts look like in our classrooms.
We have these oil pastels. Raise your hand if you've used these before in the painting studio.
The kids are working in studios, and we're doing choice-based art.
Choice-based art is where you choose what kind of art you want to do.
Choice-based art really puts the child in charge of coming up with ideas, being responsible for creating their own art. They really get to base their artwork off of subject matter that they're interested in, art materials that they want to learn how to use or experiment with.
So the students are learning how artists actually work in a studio, making their own choices, choosing their own materials, choosing their own subject matter. Well, and I try to explain to them that an artist's process changes throughout, and that is just as important as the final piece is the process. So it does help them stay engaged.
I've done a lot of stuff. I've made sculpture. I've done it in printmaking. I like to sketch stuff a lot, so I also really like doing stuff in drawing.
I've been teaching for 20 years, and this is the most I have ever seen my students engaged. They're self-directed. They're teaching each other concepts.
Excuse me, how do you use a scissor thing?
Teaching each other how to mix colors, how to sew. They're 100% engaged.
Students come into the art room and ask me, are we doing studios today? And so their excitement level is just 100%. And they are willing to put forth the effort because they know that they can create a piece of art that has meaning to them. And that is what I think is a good motivator and helps them to stay engaged in their art making process.
This is my rocket I made. I used cardboard and permanent paint and some paper tissues. It inspired me because I knew that the rocket was like a rocket getting launched soon, like in a couple of days, and I was really passionate to see it.
You could see in that video something else we're really excited about with this curriculum is there's just so many opportunities for arts integration, right, with other curriculum that they're learning or events that are important going on in the world or in their personal life, that they can bring that into the art room with them. Right, and
looking at the curriculum, and I did see where you have all the standards and you have the enduring understandings and essential questions, and it follows through. So if I'm reading them correctly, but there are places for direct instruction, line, form, some of the foundational things that they can build on then as they're creating and explain.
Right. We're
ideation.
looking at it more of, in our past curriculum, you would have certain skills that were developed at each grade level. Now we're kind of looking at it in grade bands, that throughout kindergarten through second grade, there's some skills that will be focused on through third through fifth grade. There would be more skills that they would
Those
be
surface
based on.
through the standards and then evolve up in complexity, I assume, is that?
Yeah, but really what we're focusing on assessing is not just the skill development, but the ability to communicate effectively through their artwork and to have a plan and to have, beyond just wanting to create something that's pretty or that looks nice, wanting to communicate something through their artwork.
Curious, with two questions. For a lot of the teachers, this is a 180-degree turn.
Yes, it's a big shift.
Have you been successful in getting them all on board, or close?
Well, I would say that if you, so we had the new standards in 2014. I would say here in Rockwood, we really started being intentional about professional development around this shift around 2015. And I would say we are getting to a point where we have a lot of teachers who, because it's a mind shift in addition to the new curriculum. And as they see how effective it is in the classrooms of some of the teachers who have made the shift more quickly, then we get more of our teachers on board. And I would also say that it helps that these shifts are similar to the shifts that you're seeing in other curriculum areas also, and I guess focused on 21st century learning. So I do think that our teachers see how it all aligns.
What about the art teachers coming out of the colleges? Are they well versed on student-directed learning?
I would say that, true of many shifts, right? In many ways, it's easier for our teachers who are coming right out of college. Many of them, this is the way that they were taught going through their collegiate programs. Yes.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see any kind of a shift or any changes that might be made with the art show when you're thinking about how the shift in thinking is going to be for the curriculum throughout?
I mean, I think that's something we evaluate every year. It's definitely something that we've talked about, particularly this year with the shift in curriculum, and trying to make sure. Again, in the past couple of years, you may have noticed more artist statements along with the artwork, and some of our teachers have been intentional about showing pictures that show the process that students go through. And like I said, I hope and I believe that we will continue to have our district art show evolve to align to our current values and our curriculum.
I was going to say, when you were going through this, I was reflecting on the district art show, and in my memory, I was seeing some evidence of the shifts, just thinking about the different product, different things that I looked at. Each child's work looked so different, but it was the same theme. And yet there it was on display. It was so.
Some of our middle schools have gone to taking pictures along their process and displaying those photos along with their final product, so that you can see their personal reflection and also documentation of the process they went through to create.
How will you be able to gauge the success of this new curriculum? It's not like you take the art class and then you take a map test on it or something like a map test on it. How do you gauge the success of it?
Really good question. I guess a few things that come to mind are, first of all, you heard Darcy and Brian talking about the level of engagement in the art classes, that when we go into an art classroom and we see students that are really excited and passionate about what they're creating because they've had a say in it, I feel like that's a way that we can assess. I think also students being able to utilize visual literacy in other curriculum areas, feeling confident knowing that I can communicate about my learning in science through art, whether it's through a graphic design presentation or something that they've created, that they're feeling confident using those skills in other areas. Certainly we always look at our enrollment in our courses at the secondary level because they're electives at that point. our representation of different groups of students. We certainly want to make sure that we're meeting the needs of diverse students with our curriculum.
That's also an ongoing conversation that I've been having with Glenn. He likes to measure everything, and so he really wants to talk to the curriculum department about ways that we can measure our effectiveness and track that along the way. We just haven't gotten to the point of discussion with all of them yet, so we keep bantering about how that's going to happen, but he's really pushing for it, so I'm sure we'll go that direction.
How do you get parents to understand this, because they probably didn't learn art that way, and have them get engaged with their students?
We've talked about that communication with parents will be really important. For the schools that have made large shifts, there have been letters, emails that have gone home explaining that, because, again, it's not all about what the final product looks like, right? And that we've talked about, siblings that have gone through the art program, and mom has, the first two siblings, they have their beautiful sunflower on the wall, and then the third child is going to be given a choice. Do they want to make a sunflower, or do they want to create something else that represents nature to them? And so I do think that the communication with our parents about why we're making the shifts, but also hearing from our teachers, it's really sold itself, so to speak, that their kids are so happy and excited about what they're doing in art class that that's been what has convinced our parents. Thank you.
Megan.
Excellent. Motion is to postpone the approval of the K through 8 art courses curriculum. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. Deb Kettering, need a motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts, $7,500 to $150,000 as submitted.
Moved.
Motion is second. Okay, we can go ahead.
All right, so this expense is to allow us to upgrade and modernize our current uninterrupted power supply back up at the Babbler Data Center. If we do not do that, we will have to replace the actual entire infrastructure for that, and it is significantly more expensive than the $19,670 request. It's about 10 times that. So this will allow us to upgrade and to add some extra capacity.
How long will this sustain us then?
This is good for a few years. And then we're hoping we can upgrade again and modernize again, or have a good plan in place to upgrade the entire system.
What is this for? And you were talking about growing capacity? Is that what it is, to keep up?
So it's to support the capacity of our servers. So if we have a power outage, this allows our servers to stay running and our network equipment to stay running.
Don't do that now?
With the battery backup, they do. This is to just modernize it, they call it. The equipment that we have is technically end of support. And so this will allow us to maintain our support and keep it active.
Great, thank you.
Else? All right, so the motion is to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts, $7,500 to $150,000 as submitted. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, it passes. Thank you. And next, with Chris Friend sitting there, I need a motion to approve the bond issue purchases and related contracts over $150,000 from Honer Associates, Inc., increase for additional design services for the FEMA storm shelter at Wildwood Middle School, FY 17-18 bond issue.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Go ahead, Chris.
So the item up for approval is, it does relate to the storm shelter at Wildwood Middle School and the design services for that project. The current amount was approved back in November of 2018. Since that time, we went through the grant process with FEMA and have learned that we received that funding. That's about 75%, or it is 75% of the cost of architectural and design services, as well as construction costs. Once we qualified for the grant, you basically have to abide by FEMA rules. And one of the things that they outline is now that you're using grant funding, the administration level by the design team and the construction team during the project does increase. An example of that is typically on a project you will have a pay application submitted once a month, one pay application per project that may have 50 lines for different services that are happening, mechanical, plumbing, and HVAC. All of those different line items are broken out within a pay application. Now that we are going to be using FEMA grant money for this project for 75% of it, a typical month might see 3 different pay applications because there are eligible items and there are non-eligible items that have to be broken out by the design team for the project. Best way to describe it is basically the storm shelter is the actual box that we are constructing. That is the only item that the FEMA grant money can go towards. So anything like connecting corridors or site work around the building, that's considered non-eligible activities. So all of that has to be separated on a monthly basis through the pay application system, and obviously that takes a lot more time and effort on the administrative team for the design services team.
Had you anticipated this was going to be extra money as much as this when you started the process, or to catch you off guard? Or?
No, I don't think it caught us off guard. I don't know that we were fully aware of the level, the increased level of oversight it was going to take once we received the grant. I will tell you the 7.7, as a district, we've done a really good job of keeping our design costs very low. Typically, we're around 6% on our design costs, which I can tell you, in the industry right now, that's still very low. We have had some feedback that 7.7 is still a really good percentage. There's some projects that we're aware of that these fees have reached about 12% for a similar type project. So we're still pretty comfortable about where we're at right now.
Is this the first FEMA grant we've had?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Let me understand. For the cost of additional printing and paper.
For the most part, yes. The majority of those costs are associated with review of pay applications, review of construction documents by the design team. Yes. Correct. But that does include, I want to point out, Horner is the architect of record for the project, but under their umbrella you have all your MEPs, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, civil, all of that is included under their scope.
Did you say? I couldn't hear you.
Seems like a big increase over the total amount.
Was my guess too, but it sounds like you had anticipated most of this.
Correct, and yes, and I'm sorry, we've had multiple discussions with Horner on this since we were made aware of the additional fees, and I will say that FEMA does kind of outline that fee structure. You don't necessarily have to go to the 100% maximum that they recommend, but FEMA does kind of give you an idea of what they think the services are worth, and I will tell you we're still below what they were saying this project was worth.
We worked with Horner before?
We have. They did the design on the Gagey edition. They did several of the the elementary STEM projects, so we've had very good success with Horner.
Will this put us over budget then with the shelter?
It will not. The one thing that I want to emphasize is, remember, we're still getting 75% of this money reimbursed, even though we've increased from 6% to 7.7. Even on the 7.7, we're gonna realize 75% of that cost reimbursed by FEMA.
Will we gain that money back at some point?
That is correct.
Okay. So the motion is to approve those bond issue purchases for the additional design services for the FEMA storm shelter at Wildwood Middle School. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that passes. Thank
Thank you very much.
both of you. All right, proposed agenda for the next board meeting, December 19th, 2019. Anything on there that,
Having a presentation?
Play for Life?
Play for Life, okay.
Well, that's a proclamation.
It's a proclamation.
audit management, is that Paul? We're having annual audit management reports and year-end financial statements? Okay. All right, anything else on that? All right. Future agenda presentations and events to attend. Again, please check your Board of Education Google Calendar for upcoming events in the district. Anything else on that, Janet?
Pardon? On the calendar?
Yes.
There's a printout that's on your,
okay.
of all the stuff coming up. Most importantly is the candidate filing starts on December 17th.
Okay.
I have packets with me if anybody's interested.
Okay.
And
well, I'm not really interested. But
the early childhood ribbon cutting
Yes.
is on the 19th that I already sent you out invitations
Yes.
for. And then just on the spring work session that we were talking about for the board, we were talking about trying to get a date and to talk with the admin team, and they're looking at maybe the last week of February, first couple weeks of March before spring break. So we'd need to maybe start narrowing down a date for that. So
During
we
the
can get-
daytime?
It's going to be, whatever dates that all 7 of you can come together with, we can start getting it on the calendar, but they'd prefer before spring break. So,
That's good
Spring
for
break?
the admin team?
yes.
Okay.
So you're going to send something out to us?
I can send something out and let you guys all fill in what works for you, and then we'll narrow it down. Would that work?
Okay.
Preferred during the day, correct?
Is that all day or half a day? How's that work? Whatever we want.
What do you want? A half day?
Probably a half.
A half day? And then we'll have to narrow down some of those topics again.
And I would recommend a half day due to all the job responsibilities of administrators who will be presenting and the opportunity for us to reflect. And a full day that's a lot of information to process, given the depth of information that we're providing.
I have to take a nap halfway in, but halfway between.
we
You're
could
not the only one,
facilitate that.
Dr. All right, so like end of February, first week of March, that's what you're thinking?
Yeah, they said the beginning of March before spring break.
Okay, just the Maryville spring break is the 9th, so that'd be, when's Rockwood, 16th?
16th.
Yeah, so on
It's
that
a
week
week late.
before.
It's the 16th?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So we could do the last week of February, the first week of March. I think the first week of March we have a board meeting, so maybe we could do the last week of February.
On the 5th?
Which day? Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't do 2 things in the same day. Yeah. So I'll send out an email with some options, and then if everybody can just give me some feedback, and we'll try to narrow something down so we can get it going and talk about some topics. Like we have some kind of base topics that we talked about, but maybe.
Excellent. Excellent. Anything else on that? Anything else at all? All right, we're adjourned the meeting.